No formula, no graph, just 6 numbers in a table. Can we still determine a limit? Yes, because a limit should be about a pattern of behavior. And this table of 6 values gives us exactly the evidence we need. Let's assume that we want to estimate the limit as x approaches 4. And we were given a table that includes 6 values of x with the corresponding function values: 3.9, 3.99, 3.999, 4.001, 4.01, and 4.1. Let's start with the values which are less than 4. These are 3.9, 3.99, and 3.999. These x values are moving closer and closer to 4 from the left. Now, let's look at the corresponding function values. What happens to the f of x's of these values? It's 6.81, 6.98, and 6.999. We can clearly see that they are approaching 7. So, we could write, using a one-side limit, that limit of f of x when x tends to 4 from the left is 7. Now, let's approach 4 from the right. That means from values which are greater than 4. These, in my table, would be the values of 4.001, 4.01, and 4.1. We can as well see that the corresponding y values are approaching 7.001, 7.02, and 7.21, which means that they all approach 7 as well. Again, by using one-side limit, I could express it as limit of f of x as x approaches 4 from the right is 7. Notice that a table usually gives us numerical evidence for the limit. We are observing what the values appear to approach. In this specific example, we saw that the two-side limits both lead to the value of 7, which by definition means that the actual two-sided limit at x equals 4 is 7. But now let's see three common traps when reading tables. Trap number 1. Looking at the wrong x values. You should always make sure that the values are actually approaching the x value in the limit. Trap number 2. Checking only one side. For a two-sided limit to exist, you need evidence from both sides, not just from one. And trap number 3, confusing f of a, f of a point, with the actual limit. Remember, a table might even give you the function value at x equals a, but that does not mean that this value is automatically the limit. You should always ask, what are the nearby function values approaching? And finally, let's do some translation between words and limit notation. We have the verbal description and the limit notation. As x approaches a, f of x approaches L. We would write that in limit notation as lim f of x equals L, and then below x equals a. F of x gets arbitrarily close to L as x gets close to a. It's the exact same thing. F of x can be made as close to L as desired by taking x sufficiently close to a. It's a little bit nerdy, but still it's the exact same thing. All these three verbal descriptions can be expressed by the same limit. Since this is the fourth and last video dedicated to the 1.2 subtopic, let's do a small recap. Across these 4 videos, across these lessons, we've built a complete foundation. Remember, what should we keep? A limit, first of all, describes a behavior near a point. Left hand and right hand limits tells us what happens from its direction. A two-sided limit exists only when these two side limits agree and exist independently. And by agree, I mean that they are equal to each other. We can estimate limits from formulas, from graphs, or even from tables. All these ideas, we should keep them with us because they're soon going to appear again and again throughout our AP Calculus adventure. And remember, as I keep saying always, that I used a specific Mega Smart Notes, that is a PDF full of theory, dedicated to 1.2, in order to produce these videos. If you want to get it, you can find the link in the description below. As always, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next lesson, which will be dedicated on 1.3.